Welcome to the IIBA Tampa Bay, Florida chapter study group. This is July 25th, 2024. We are so excited that you're here. Today is our study group that we're going to be working on the BABOK 128th class. This is chapter 6, Knowledge Area 4, Strategy Analysis. Let me ask your indulgence for just a minute. I have done something to my screen and I don't know how to advance my slides. Hold on 1 minute, folks. I cannot advance my slides. I have really messed this up.
A guy walks into a bar. The guy following him ducks.
That works wonderfully. Okay, I can't stop the slideshow either. Give me some grace, guys. I'll be there in a second.
Try Alt Tab, kill the process, and then restart.
Yeah, except it won't let me restart because it's got these weird fonts in it. Okay, we're getting there. Okay, let me share my screen. I am sharing my screen. Which screen am I sharing?
It was the BABOK chapter 7.
Awesome. Okay.
Well, now it's all of us.
Because y'all are special.
Yeah, we are.
Okay. Our mission here in the Tampa Bay, Florida chapter is to help you. It depends on what you need, and I need you to come to me and tell me what you need. We don't care where you live. We don't care if you're living in Florida or anywhere else in the world. If you're interested in business analysis, interested in learning about it, interested in getting better at it, or if you're interested in certification.
Is that the right slide deck?
No, it isn't. That's why I'm improvising.
All right.
Okay. So no matter where you live, you can become a member of the Tampa Bay chapter. Watermark Learning has given us the discount code Tampa 21. It's a 20% discount on anything that you purchase from them. We are looking for new board members. We have 4 new board members that we are in the process of onboarding. If you're one of those new board members, we need you to be sure that you have joined the IIBA and that you've chosen the Tampa Bay chapter as your chapter. We're going to get you authorized and updated, and we will get that moving forward. We have board advisors. We have 4 of them now. This only shows 3 that have agreed to participate in our study groups. That means you get an hour of study group credit by participating in this study group. So we do appreciate them. We also appreciate the people that have contacted us to let us know that we have been a factor in them being able to earn their certification. It's very important to us that we provide this for everyone. And with no further ado, we're going to move on to our study group materials. I want you to see, let me get the other one. I want you to see Bob Churchill's website. It's right here. Bob Churchill has put together this awesome website. And if you go right here, it's Bob Churchill's website is rpchurchill.com. If you go right here, it's Tampa IIBA Study Group. This gives you an index of not only the ways that you can get to our resource files, but also if you scroll down, you can get to our knowledge areas. He's got so much good stuff in here, but these are our YouTube videos. So if you want to see the information on the different knowledge areas, you can just click on each of these. If you want to see the techniques, you've got these, and our speakers are further down. This makes it a whole lot easier than trying to wade through the YouTube state channel by itself.
Yes, I have to say this is very useful, and I have it open permanently.
Wonderful. I appreciate that. Thank you for telling us that. Okay, we are going to go on to, I've got too much open, guys. Did you know that? Okay, let me get to Watermark. We're going to go on to our exams, and we're going to be using the CBAP exam. You can see Watermark has a lot of other exam test prep you can go through. And we are going to go through, is it strategy analysis?
That's correct.
Yes. Okay, we're going to begin a new exam. Those of you who have not participated with us in the past, I will read the question. I'll read the answers. I need for you to tell me what the right answer is. If there's one that's absolutely the wrong answer, tell me that too. If you tell me that you have a right answer, I'd also like for you to tell me why you think it's the right answer. The conversation that we have at that point helps the rest of us all learn. I'm so excited to see so many of you here. Thank you for dealing with my technical issues. Okay, question number 1. When analyzing the current state of an organization, a business analyst may perform a cultural assessment. Which of the following is not true regarding the value of a cultural assessment? So it's not true. A cultural assessment will ascertain whether or not a stakeholder believes change is necessary. A cultural assessment will identify which processes and tools are sufficient enough to support a new solution. A cultural assessment will ascertain whether or not stakeholders view the current state as satisfactory, or a cultural assessment will identify if culture changes are required to achieve the goals. According to the BABOK, what is the answer?
B, as boy, I would say.
Why do you like B, Andrea?
Because I think like the others are more true than this one. It helps know the beliefs of the stakeholders. Well, they believe if this change is necessary, if they think that the current state is satisfactory, and any cultural changes that needs to be achieved for the goal. Whereas it doesn't necessarily help you identify the processes and tools that need to be done for the new solution.
I like your logic.
I agree. I think culture, it's more about people component than about processes and tools. So B as boy.
Okay. All right, let's check this answer. And it is correct. This is a description of an operational assessment. Very good, ladies. Come on, guys. They're showing you up.
That was discussed in chapter 8 and not chapter 6. So that was interesting.
You're right. That is out of 8. Did I start the wrong one, perhaps?
No, probably not.
Okay, let's go on.
It's right. Yeah. Actually, this is in the Watermark, whatever printed out book test too.
Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Okay. Placidio is a BA who works at the Trivi Global Foods TGF, a food distribution company that has just acquired Agave Food Distributors, AFD, in the same industry. He has recommended a review of how dairy production is done in both companies because he's talked to a few stakeholders who told him that it's handled differently in both companies. This is particularly important because there's different region regulations for different countries, provinces, and states where the food is distributed. For the above scenario, give the answer for question 1 of 3 below. Placidio's boss has told him not to worry about what's happening today because the top priority is to integrate the software of both companies. How should Placidio answer? It is important to understand the current state in order to ensure that both Trevi and AFD stakeholders understand how to use the new software. It is important to understand the existing software used by both companies before determining which, if any, changes are needed for the software integration. It is important to understand how the new integrated software will affect how people
What are you doing there?
work.
Go into the room. Let her rinse her plate and wash her plate.
And it is important to understand how both companies are handling these processes today before integrating the systems. This will help ensure compliance with regulations after the integrations take place.
B as in boy.
Why do we like B?
Because in order for the processes, in order for the system to be changed in the future, you first have to know how it's being used, what the limitations are for the current process for these agencies, and then what needs to be updated or changed for the future.
I like your logic. Do I have a second answer?
Any other good option?
I actually kind of was going with C. So I'm not taking this scenario that we were given, but I'm just like thinking of a patch release that you might get on your phone or for Microsoft or anywhere. Like, I think they want to make sure that whatever they're releasing is going to work with however you're going to use that program. So I was I guess I was leaning more of how that's going to impact people using it at their work. Because I don't think somebody is going to understand what your current state is at a company. If it's a global company, I don't think they know every single state of a company.
Well, they certainly should.
I don't know they would know what software update you're on. You might not have released that software update. So you might be on different versioning. I don't know. I was just trying to think of like a high global patch.
I understand that.
Well, I'm thinking this is more a custom in-house software job that either an in-house team is doing or a consultant is doing. It also says that there are two companies that are doing things differently in different industries, and there are different regulations. So is there an answer that hits on that concern?
It would be option D.
D. Yes, I think it's D. I mean, I like B, but there is a hint in a question about regulations, and this thing, the compliance always is a top priority, right? Among all the other requirements, all the other priorities.
Also, you wouldn't want to break the business processes of one company if the same processes are not followed by the other software. So it's very important to understand how the companies are handling their processes today before you go with the integration.
Okay, I've heard several people say D. Let's check it and see how we're doing. Okay, the answer is correct. One of the strengths of process modeling is
I was going to burn down Watermark.
No, you're not. Okay, let's get the next question for this same scenario. Same scenario, the business executive overseeing the funding for this initiative insists that analyzing the current state is a waste of time. She said that the gains in productivity will be made by allowing the software to drive the future state. How should Placido respond? Although it is true that benefits will be realized only after the solution is implemented, taking the time to determine the solution scope will reduce risks and prevent costly errors and rework. The risk of conflicts among stakeholders and the delay caused by spending time resolving the conflicts will be reduced by analyzing the current state. Change occurs in the context of future state, which will affect stakeholders, processes, technology, and policies. Determining the future state of the enterprise prior to the change is necessary to identify what will need to change to provide value and achieve success. Or D, if we do not define the current state, we will not be able to define performance measures to determine the effectiveness of the new solution. According to the BABOK.
I would say it's D.
Why do you like D?
Because current state already may contain some performance metrics that can be useful and necessary in a future state as well.
Okay.
I also like A, but D I like more.
Okay. Do you have a second answer?
Yeah,
Maybe.
this is.
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. This is Jennifer. I was going to say that in the core concepts, it says you need to analyze the needs in order to recommend the solution. And I would say that the needs are still part of the current state, not just the future state. So I would go with D as well.
Okay. We've got 2 votes for D. Let's see what if
I
that's
go for C.
I think C as well. Oh, it's B.
It's B, guys.
I was gonna
Okay,
say
so let's
C.
find out why D was not right. Attempting but incorrect answer. Defining performance measures happens as part of solution evaluation to evaluate the effectiveness of the solution in relationship to the value it brings, not to evaluate how much the solution has improved since the current state. That's true. We know that the current state is not involved because of the inputs, the input solution external, and the business objectives tell us so. Okay. So let's look at this one. The risk of conflict.
Why is it not C?
Let's it will okay. Let me read this one first. The risk of conflict among stakeholders and the delay caused by spending time resolving the conflict will be reduced by analyzing the current state. Well, we're still talking about analyzing the current state. It occurs as part of analyzing the current state. The BABOK says without clearly understood business needs, it's impossible to develop a coherent strategy, and the resulting change initiative is almost certain to be driven by the mix of conflicting stakeholder demands. And let me choose C, and we will find out why it's not C.
This is basically what Jennifer said.
Which is what Jennifer said, right?
Yes.
This is true in the current state, but not the future state. Does that satisfy you, Bob?
The problem is they talk about the future state. So I don't know why that answer or their explanation even makes sense.
Do you want me to identify it as wonky?
Please.
I agree.
Okay.
Here's the thing in general. You have to know where you are, the current state. You have to know the needs. That drives the future state. When you identify the future state, then you come up with a strategy of moving from one to the other. There is no shortcutting that process. A manager and an analyst who does not understand that, this is the most core concept there is in this whole business.
Okay, I identified that one as wonky. Let's move on. Let me double check.
And that's just to help you all think about this. Can't know where you are going or how to get there unless you know where you are.
I agree. I always see myself on a map, and if I don't know where I'm at, I can't figure out how to get to any other point on the map. Okay, after a great deal of discussion, the business executive has agreed to model existing processes and compare the time it takes to complete the value stream of dairy production processes. Below is a value stream map of one set of the processes in AFD. Which statement below is correct? So let's look at this map. I'm assuming this talks about this step right here, and this one talks about between these two steps here.
These are just delays.
So initial input, process 1, process 2, process 3. Process 1 is half an hour. Process 2 is 4 hours after a 2-hour delay. Process 3 is 3 hours after a 6-hour delay, which gets to the final output to the customer. Okay. Does anyone have any different understanding of that? Okay, let's see what the question is. The total elapsed time is 15.5 hours. Total elapsed time is 8 hours. Total elapsed time is 7.5 hours or unknown. In order to calculate the total elapsed time, we need the wait time between the test, the time the supplier provides the input, and the start of the process, which is right here. And B, the wait time for when the process is complete until the final output is in the hands of the consumer.
Yeah, I think it's D.
Okay, but is this the process right here, or is this the process right here?
I understand that the processes, like there are 4 boxes with the processes, so those are the times for the processes with the awaiting hours. So I would say A, 15.5.
Okay.
A, I agree with A.
Okay, we've got 2 answers for A. Let's see if we're right. And the answer is A. From the initial input to the final output is the sum of the processing time and the wait time, which is out of chapter 10, our techniques chapter. Okay. Which of the following tasks within the strategy analysis knowledge area? I'm sorry, which of the following are tasks within the strategy analysis knowledge area? So is it define current tasks, define future state, assess risk, define change strategy, analyze current state, define future state, analyze risk, define change solution strategy, analyze current state, define future state, assess risk, and define change strategy, or define current state, define future state, analyze risk, and define solution strategy?
C. C.
C.
Cat.
Cat.
Oh, C is in cat?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is that what you said, Andrea? Did I misunderstand? Okay. And you're right. You're right. I'm so impressed. In looking down at y'all, I'm so excited to see new faces and good familiar faces. Thank you so much. Which document provides stakeholders with an understanding of what new capabilities will be delivered in the change initiative? Is it the project vision, solution scope, solution approach, or solution option? Before you answer, which one of these is not even in the BABOK?
D.
Right.
D.
So even if you were just guessing, you've just eliminated one, you're down up to 3.
Yeah, and the project vision also is not there. There is a product vision, as far as I remember. I don't remember the project vision.
Okay, so what is the right answer?
I believe it's C.
And that's for stakeholders and understanding of new capabilities, right? Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
I think so, yes.
Okay. Ooh, it's a solution scope. Okay, so the BABOK seemingly uses this term synonymously with solution option, which are alternative ways the BA identifies to create or acquire new capabilities. Solution scope. The solution scope defines the boundaries of the solution and is described in enough detail to enable stakeholders to understand which new capabilities the change will deliver. Okay.
That may
if we
be
have to make
true, but I do not like that logic.
Do you want me to identify it as wonky, Bob?
I don't know what to say about it. The scope is every part of the process or system that you're dealing with, but the solution might only be part of that. So you're talking about the solution, but it's not really the scope. I mean, I
Right.
suppose the solution is what change you made, but
Right.
the scope could be larger. And so I don't like, I would have to read that section of the BABOK to see how I felt about that.
I think that the BABOK provides that as the project scope, and then this is the solution scope. So this is just the thing that's going to be delivered. You tell me if you want it to be wonky later.
Yeah.
Did I have another comment? Okay, let's move on. The business analyst has completed the identification and definition of why a change to a system is required. The business analyst has also identified new capabilities that the current system cannot perform and are required by the enterprise to achieve the business need. Risks have been identified and assessed. What is the business analyst's next step? Is it, these are tasks, right? Determine the change strategy, determine the organizational impacts, determine architectural gaps, or determine the business process gaps?
A, change strategy.
I see Van nodding his head. Is
I
that a
think
real
A
yes?
as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
I think
it should be.
tasks, that's going to be the next task. Oh, good.
Yep.
We don't have
The
to blow
current
up
state has
watermark.
been analyzed, the future state has been defined, and the risk have been assessed. The next step is to perform the task, define change strategy. Very good.
It's not always blowing up watermarks. Sometimes it's BABOK.
True.
For Thea, that's not to say there is anything bad about the BABOK. Now we've gone over this thing. Thousands of people have gone over it in large groups over and over again, and over the usual fun, subtle ways to make it better. So that's all that's happening.
All right. Sangrita is a BA assigned to the R&D function of a cell phone manufacturing company. The developers would like to obtain funding to create a phone battery that will automatically charge itself whenever it detects a wireless connection. Sangrita has been charged with writing the business case to obtain funding for this exciting new venture. She has all the information she needs about the limitations of the current technology and the angst it causes customers who desire a longer battery life. She wants to ensure she fully understands this opportunity. In order to do so, what might be her course of action? Understand the size of the market and gain competitive intelligence to hopefully understand potential price points for the battery. Sangrita could conduct focus groups with representatives of the target market to understand what they would pay for the battery. Sangrita could survey customers who have submitted complaints regarding the current battery life in order to understand the viable price point for the battery, or write a business case using different scenarios in order to quantify benefits using pessimistic, optimistic, and most likely view of sales velocity. I see some of you have answers and you're not saying them. I want to encourage you to say them.
A.
Tell me why you like A.
I don't know. I don't like D because if she wants to ensure she fully understands, she's not going to write a business case that's not helping her fully understand. So it's not D as dog. It could be a survey, actually. It could be C as well. Survey customers.
That is where I'm going, because you would need some kind of pointer to determine the future price of the battery so that you can present it to obtain the funding.
But doesn't it say that she has all the information she needs about the limitations of the current technology?
She does, but that doesn't tell her the price people would pay for a replacement.
Yeah, they're trying to build a new battery. So we will have to find a price for that new battery, or what price the customers are willing to pay for that new and improved battery.
I would try C because I mean it's kind of it gives understanding if this is really a real problem for customers. She needs to understand if current better life is the feature that is worse, that is really that is extending the better life, if this is really the feature, if the feature was investing.
Okay.
The only thing is, what's the difference between C and B? So C
I like
is
B
about
as well.
customers.
Yeah, the difference is that in C, you try to understand the root cause. If there is a problem in reality, and B is also good.
B and C look like they're talking about the same people and in the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like A, B, and C are just different techniques to get at the same thing. And I know people have said they don't like D, but she works for R&D. She doesn't work for marketing. I feel like the whole thing about the price point would be more viable for the marketing department as opposed to the R&D department. Whereas just getting basic funding is going to be possible for answer D because they need to know if it's going to sell at all.
Well, but she's running a business case, and for a business case, you have to kind of predict the future.
Yes, in a case of the business case, the D seems viable.
And D comes from the R&D function. The pessimistic and optimistic. Oh no, that's all projected sales. So they're all kind of marketing E.
Okay, I've had several.
Let's select D.
You like
Let's
D?
select D.
Let's select D. Not D.
We're gonna go to D and see what the answer is. Okay. So this could be done, but it's not going to be as reliable as the other response. And this is what they wanted us to say. This is the tall order. But Sangrita is going to need to quantify the benefits for a business case. To do that, she'll need to do a market analysis to comprehensively and realistically understand the market opportunity.
Did anyone even suggest this option?
Yeah.
Me. It was my first answer.
Yeah.
Because what I was saying is D, it was already about writing the business case. And so this was something that she was going to do before writing the business case. So that's why I said A and B, D is definitely not. And
I think
then
we just talked ourselves in circles.
Yeah, and B and C it's two different methods of doing the same thing, that is getting feedback from the customers. So we're so similar that A was the one that was different.
Okay. Well, now we know. Obviously, there's a lot of techniques that are actually being used in this chapter. Maybe we need to focus on them a little bit more. When executing the task of assessing risk, which of the following are the input? Stated elicitation results, prioritized designs, prioritized requirements, business objectives, potential value. Confirmed elicitation results, prioritized designs, prioritized requirements, business objectives, potential value. Business goals, confirmed elicitation results, prioritized designs, prioritized requirements, and business objectives. Or business goals, stated elicitation results, prioritized designs, prioritized requirements, and business objectives. Which one of these can we automatically eliminate? Any of them?
C and D.
Why can we eliminate B and D?
C and D.
Oh, C and D.
Business goals is not an input.
Okay.
And they didn't list potential value either.
Okay. So, well, potential values in these two, they can't all four be wrong.
Yeah, potential value I think is okay. I think it's B.
Why do you like B, Van?
Because it has confirmed elicitation results. So that means that they've been reviewed. So you're trying to do risk assessment. So You're talking to people about the risks and you're asking them to confirm the results and actually kind of match them against your requirements as well so that everything agrees. Then you have your prioritized designs and requirements that you got before, your business objectives that you got from the previous steps, and potential value that you got from the previous steps. So those are output from previous steps, the last two in this area. So I think it's B. And
I like your logic. Do I have a second answer?
I like B as well because business goals is not an input, I think. And for A, stated elicitation results for the first one is analyze current state is elicitations results confirmed. So stated is a backwards point from there. So that's not it. So it's B. By elimination, it's B.
I don't even remember such an input as stated elicitation results.
No, exactly. There's only confirmed elicitation results for analyzing current state.
Either confirmed or unconfirmed, right? There is no such thing as stated.
I think in the text of the BABOK, it does say they have stated elicitation results, and then you go and confirm it. I don't think it's part of the inputs or outputs anywhere, though. And this is correct. I'm so proud.
All right, just so you know, if you need a shortcut way of studying the charts or the flow charts on all this are super helpful.
I agree.
I remember them being very, very helpful when I took the exam. There were actually 6 inputs to that task, but the correct answer listed 4 and also use the correct verbiage as Van pointed out.
Very nice. Thank you. Sonia is formulating a proposed change approach for her bank, which wants to enable customers to apply for new accounts using a website. The bank currently has limited web functionality and only permits new accounts to be opened at a branch. She's deciding which factors to include in her analysis. Which of the following factors should Sonia consider? Alternative strategies for delivering the needed capabilities, risks involved with allowing new account applications through a website, knowledge and skills of developers who could build a new web page, business rules that apply to the opening of new accounts.
C, as cat.
Why do you like
have
C?
Developers with building the website, they need to know how to do the stuff.
I would go with D.
I see a lot of business rules up here. Only permits the accounts to be opened at a branch.
Yes, extensive use of different business rules is needed for opening a new account in a bank. So maybe it's also about risks. I like B as well.
Because the banking industry is one of the most regulated industries in the country, and I've worked in it, and switching that from an in-person to an online application is going to involve a lot of risk, like verifying who the person is and their assets.
But wouldn't that be covered by business rules?
I know I work in risk all the time, so maybe I'm blinded by that.
Another way of looking at it is like, I think that C is current state. Business rules that apply to opening a new account will be future state. The risk is assessing risk.
Right.
And alternative strategies for delivering the needed capabilities will be like the solution.
Right.
So I think like it depends of where we consider. And if we consider that she's starting with the beginning is analyzing current state, which would be C.
Oh, wait a second. It says, so the question says that which wants to enable customers to apply for new accounts. So it's not about opening a new account, it's applying for a new account, right? So it's got a different process, different from opening an account, right? It's just application, filling out the application for a new account.
Again, it's because there could be various risks involved in online application, like you can have a, a kind of a hacker program that gives you 100 application in a minute, which can impact your server and stuff like that. So we need to look at the risk factor before going
Yes,
ahead with the proposed change.
I agree. It is.
Okay, let's check B and see what we get. Okay. Risk are part of the overall change strategy, but the BABOK does not list them as as a capability category within gap analysis. Knowledge and skill is one capability category to consider while performing a gap analysis. The question is tricky and more than one possible answer. The limited web functionality, as the current state suggests, they may lack the skills.
Right. That's why I would say A would be the answer, because what I would do if I was them and we only had limited web functionality, I'd be like, hey, what can I outsource? Can I outsource it to some company that does have good web functionality? So my strategy would be, we're going to partner with a vendor that can do this for us. So I would say alternative strategies for delivering would be, I don't know. This is hard. It's a hard one.
Do you think this is a
I
wonky?
do not, yeah.
This is very close
Definitely
to being a goofy.
wonky, as I say often. The questions on the actual exam are better.
Good.
Okay.
This is definitely wonky.
I'm going to cite
as a former developer, I just don't see any risk in
exactly.
developer skills, building new web pages.
Yeah.
So it's just I have such a bias.
That's true. This is like the ABCs of development. If you can't do this, you're in big trouble.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I have saved this as wonky. Those of you who don't know, I actually met some of the folks from Watermark at BBC and talked to them about that. And they said, when you flag it, it doesn't really do anything. But if you send me the ones that you think are wonky, I'll be glad to look at them. And I'm like, cool, we're sending them to you.
Yeah, we have like probably 100 of these we've identified as goofy in previous videos.
Okay, ROI takes into consideration the cost of the investment of the forecasted benefits for the change. Cameron is meeting with stakeholders to understand what the training costs will be for the recommended solution. What is Cameron trying to understand? So here we go. The timeline for getting end users up to speed with how to use the solution, the total cost of ownership for the solution, value realization, and the ratio of cost to benefits. According to the BABOK, what is the answer?
B, the total cost of ownership.
Why do you like that one?
Because training, you'll have to make sure that the end users are trained and take that into consideration and add it to the overall cost of the solution.
Okay. Do you have a second answer?
I think that he's right, because A is about timeline and it doesn't really help you with time and understanding training cost. Value realization, training cost doesn't identify about doing value realization necessarily. Ratio of cost benefits, again, you wouldn't know about that. You would need to understand the benefits and the costs to do that.
Okay, let's check this answer. And that is right. Total cost of ownership includes the cost of using and supporting the solution throughout its life cycle. Training would be included in that. Very good.
But ROI talks about costs and benefits. So that's where you get the R.
Right. But well, that came from chapter 10 though, and I don't understand why we're answering this question when it's that far.
Chapter 10 are techniques that you would apply while doing things in this chapter.
Every single task.
I found the question to be kind of goofy. It's not really clear. We got the right answer for the right reason, and that shows that you're thinking about it correctly, and that will serve you better on the actual exam.
Okay. So every task has a list of techniques that are associated with it, and it's up to us to go and look them up in chapter 10. Okay, next. What is the best description of the strategy analysis knowledge area? So there is a in the strategy analysis knowledge area, there's a section called description. Strategy analysis focuses on understanding the current state and identifying obstacles, keeping the organization from reaching its goal. Strategy analysis begins when a business need is identified and ends when projects are initiated. The strategy analysis knowledge area begins when a business need is identified, analyzes the current state, and enables the enterprise to effectively address that need by defining the future and transition states. Strategy analysis consists of a collection of pre-project activities for capturing future views of the business to provide context for elicitation. I'm pretty sure we can eliminate this one. Am I right?
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, if you haven't started elicitation sometime before this, you might have missed the boat. What is the right answer?
I would also eliminate B because strategy analysis doesn't need to end. It can be ongoing and initiated
right.
On any stage, on any step.
I like C as cat.
Yeah, C is more logical.
Okay, let's check C. And that is the correct definition. Y'all have actually read the book. I'm so proud. Okay, Rachel was just hired as a BA from an organization where she was instrumental in the identification and deployment of a particular customer relationship management system and has a strong relationship with the vendor. The new organization is facing similar challenges as her previous employer and has asked her to accept the role of BA on an initiative to address those challenges. She respectfully declined the role. Why is that? She's concerned that her previous experience may result in suboptimal recommendation. She would like to work on something new to assist in career development. She is concerned that this may represent a conflict of interest, or she signed a non-compete agreement with her previous employer. Are there any of those we can eliminate?
Guess you can get rid of D because that's got nothing to do with the BABOK. It could be, but it's a red herring.
Well, I guess it's A.
That's a strong relationship. What kind of relationship?
So I think
this
it's
is
A.
A CRM. You think it's A?
Yes. Because I remember something from the BABOK that yeah, so business analyst can be confused with the previous experience and missed something that is different in another initiative or organization.
Okay.
I think it's C because I mean she did this in the previous role and there's similar challenges to her previous employer and she has a strong relationship with the vendor. So that's what makes me think it's a conflict.
Okay. I've got a tie. I need a tiebreaker.
I would vote for A.
Why do you like A?
Only because the thought process here, thinking from a BABOK point of view, you know, where you're trying to give many different possible solutions to follow, and in the solution step, you want to have many possible ones. Since she's going to be biased toward the one solution that she's done before in this exact same situation. So I don't think it's necessarily a conflict of interest. That's close, but I think A fits better based on what the BABOK says about
Bias
strategy.
is the word, yes.
Okay.
Yeah, B, C, and D are all personal. Her choice.
Mm-hmm.
So it didn't have anything to do with the BABOK.
Let's see if we're right. And we're right. Bias of the author of a business case is a stated limitation of the tool. Very good. We're going to be running out of time, so we won't be able to finish. So let's get to 15. As a part of the initial strategy exercise, a business analyst was required to come up with a method to capture how an enterprise creates, delivers, and captures value for and from its customers. For the above scenario, please answer question 1 of 1 below. Which technique would provide the required information? So how an enterprise captures, delivers, creates, delivers, and captures value. Is it a SWOT analysis, a business model canvas, a glossary, or a business capability analysis?
It's B.
B.
Yeah, B.
B as in boy.
Mm-hmm.
And that is correct. It does describe exactly what we asked. And Jasmine has gained consensus on the business requirements for a new initiative. What did those business requirements include? The problem, opportunity, and high-level desired business outcomes that have been defined through analyzing the current state. The problem or opportunity that has been defined through analyzing the current state. The problem, opportunity, or constraints that have been defined through analyzing the current state. The problem, opportunity, assumptions, and constraints that have been defined through analyzing the current state.
I believe it's D.
Yeah, like D as dog.
Because of assumptions?
Yeah.
Mostly, yes.
Okay, let's find out. Ooh. Okay, the BABOK does not list assumptions. So it's B, the problem, opportunity, and constraint. Okay, let us submit the exam. We did 15 of 20, which we got 10 correct out of 15. So that's...
we actually got 10 out of, yeah, you're right. 10 out of 15.
Right.
2/3.
2/3. So what do we want to do next week, folks? I will have my act together. I'm sorry for the delay this afternoon. Do we want to do this chapter again, or do we want to go into the next chapter?
I would go to the next one.
Okay.
Yeah.
You good with that? We've done this chapter a few times. Okay, we're going to go to the next chapter next week. I want to remind you, in case you aren't aware of it, the Google Drive that we have that's available to you, we've put all kinds of infographics in there, things that might help you relate things across the BABOK that in a visual way that might be beneficial. I encourage you to at least go peruse it and see if it's something that would be useful to you. If you have any questions between now and next week, please reach out to me. I'm available on LinkedIn. Those folks that are our new board members, please be sure that you have joined the IIBA and that the Tampa Bay chapter is your chapter, because I can't add you until that's the case. I'm looking forward to it, but I can't do it until then. Once again, if you have any questions, I'm here for you. If you have any concerns or problems, I'm here for you. If you have not begun filling out your application on the Excel template for the certification application, and you don't know how to do that, I've got it for you. I'll be glad to walk you through it, okay? I'll talk to y'all next week. See you later.
Thank you.
Guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.